Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the Funhouse. Today I'm going to be installing this Alpine ILX W650 into a 2007-2008 Toyota Yaris. Now, as you can see, this radio is crazy looking. It's built into the dash. Very weird. Before you start a project like this, make sure you have everything you need. Do your research. I needed an adapter plate. I needed this so that this dashboard will accept this radio, because you can see this radio is built into this dashboard panel. So you could also go to the junkyard. There was a different model Yaris that had a radio that slipped in and out and took this faceplate. But of course, I lucked out and got the one where the radio is built into the faceplate, so I had to get this other faceplate. Got my faceplate, I got my plugs, I got a lot going on here. This video is going to cover putting the stereo in. I also bought this installation kit. So to start, let me get you guys in the tripod while we work out taking apart this dashboard. I'm going to try to come at these from down low. I don't know if you can see down here, but basically if I gouge it up or scratch it, okay, all right, that popped off. I want to do it where it's not so conspicuous. Would be the best attack. Okay, we're popping off. I'm going to be very patient, very slow, gentle, and deliberate, because if I crease or crack this stuff, well, it's just not going to look right when I put it back together. Okay, that wasn't so bad. I haven't even needed these tools really yet, just patience and finesse. And come on, yeah. All right, we're getting somewhere. Now, looks like I'm gonna need a Phillips screwdriver, which I have. It also looks like you could use a socket. I don't want to guess in case I'm wrong. Maybe it's 10 millimeter, but I'm not sure. Let's just say that the Phillips screwdriver works. Here's a little trick for you. I pinned it to the screwdriver, then I took it out so I didn't lose it. Good trick here, guys, is have some Ziploc bags and a marker, and you can write what came out of where and bag them together so you don't mix up your hardware. That trick again. Now let's see what's coming apart and what's not. I feel like I haven't gotten anywhere yet. Let's see, some more brackets and screws back here. I'm kind of figuring this out as we go along, guys, so you might see me backtracking as I find out there's a step I missed. We'll have to take care of that. All right, so far these are all the same hardware. Today's a race day down at the racetrack, so you're probably going to hear some interesting background noise. All right, let's see what we got. Are we loose yet? We are not. All right, I'm not going to make you guys watch as I figure this out. Okay. You just have to not be afraid. That's all. Let me see how this goes so I don't break it. Up. Back. A little bit of twist and lifting action. Got that off. And, man, I'm pulling my ductwork apart too, huh? Okay. All right. I gotta see if I can figure out how to show you guys this. But, well, let's just start unplugging stuff. Antenna. Wire harness 1. Wire harness 2. Wire harness 3. A lot of wire harnesses. And then there's a wire harness on the top for the hazard lights. Push that button. There we go. And we're free. All right. So basically I'm going to have to undo this radio out of this bracket. Save the brackets. I have to take the ductwork and unclick it from these tabs. Switch everything over to the new bracket, which will receive the new radio. Good riddance to this one. By the way, on a hot day, this thing would turn into Chinese writing and not respond to my commands. So it served me well, but I've had enough. I'm gonna see if I can't use these butter knife looking things and gently undo these tabs. Okay. Success with that one. Hope you guys can see. Put a little bit of pressure on it. Okay, success with that one as well. Now I got 4 of them across the top. I guess if I damage this, it's not the end of the world because I'm not reusing this bracket. But for you guys, if you're planning on reusing your bracket, maybe you have the other style radio and you already have the other style bracket. So be gentle, be patient. Might seem like the end of the world, it's taking forever, but it's quicker than a trip to the dealership and paying an ungodly price for a cheap plastic part. Okay, I'm pushing with my fingers to put a little bit of pressure on it as I'm wiggling these tabs. And that is working out well for me. Oh, I think this tab reattached. That's okay though. Like I said, be gentle, be patient. We'll figure it out. I feel like I'm missing something. Something on the bottom. Is there more tabs that I can't see? Okay. Something is holding me in on the bottoms. Maybe I need to get the top undone and swing it out. We're close though, I can feel it. As soon as I figure out the secret, I'll let you guys know. okay. Okay, what's happening here? All right. There's these little tabs down here, and I picked up on it and they popped out. I'm not sure if that was the right way to get it out, but it's out and I don't think I broke it. So we save this, and that is gonna go back here in the dash with the new kit. Now I'm gonna get these brackets off. It's just these 4 bolts on both sides, and then pretty much the radio and this piece of trim, I won't need that anymore. So this would be a good time to start a new Ziploc bag. Ugh. Ugh. Jeez, guys, it's just a radio. Ugh, so much other stuff is built like crap, but at least the bolts for the radio are torqued to 80 foot-pounds. Yeah, that takes care of that. Hopefully this is in the car for its last time. And here's our first look at the radio out of the box. Got a little plastic on here to protect it. Gonna leave that. This has an optional amplifier that goes on the back, but I'm not looking to lose what little hearing I have left, so we're gonna leave it right the way it is. These are plugs for cameras. I don't have the cameras right now, but I may add them in the future. So I'm going to plug this in. And it can just hang out back there in the dash. It won't hurt anything. Here is a USB cord. And that's so you can hook up your phone and late model electronics, including an iPod. I'm gonna plug that in and just leave it hanging out for now. Here is your wire harness. And also we have a microphone for your Bluetooth when you're using that. I've got to fish it behind the A-pillar trim and all that stuff up to the headliner, but what I'm going to do is pay out all the slack, get it nice and untangled by first getting it tangled. I'm going to fish it in from over by the A-pillar under the dash to here where I can plug it into the radio before I install it. I'll worry about running the rest of it later, but anything you have to run it through, you know, I can get it tucked in behind here. I can drop the headliner down and put it up under there. Probably there's some trim here that I can pop off and loosen up some bolts that'll lower the headliner. Then I'll put the microphone right here, but I can do that later. Right now what I can't do is try to get a microphone to pop out by the A-pillar, so I'm going to use the small end, which I think is, yeah, 1/8 inch phono jack, and I'm going to see what I got to do to get that into the dashboard over here to where the radio goes. Alright, we're going to go for a Hail Mary here, only because I've had success in the past with Hail Marys. I got a split between 2 dashboard pieces right here, and I can lift up on this a little bit. I'm going to wedge my screwdriver in there. I think I could lift this up and hinge it up out of the way, but we're going to try to make this simple for you folks. This is what we would call a fish tape. If you work with electricity, you probably use one to get wires through conduits or whatnot. Anyway, I'm going to take some of this fish tape. I'm going to try to slip it through the dashboard and come out where I'm putting my radio in. And then that's kind of going the wrong way, but that's okay, because once I get there, I could tape this to a string, pull a string back this way, and then use the string to pull the 1/8" phono jack through the dashboard. Let's see if I can get lucky. I think I got it. Let's see, guys. All right, it worked. Here's my fish tape. Now I'll tape some string to that, pull it back the other way, and then I'll use the string to pull my microphone wire. Okay, I got my string. I got some electrical tape. Make sure you get it good. You don't want to lose it halfway through the dash. Alright, I'm going to kind of help it as best I can as I pull the fish tape back the other way. I can feel the tape getting caught up on something. Okay, I wiggled it around. Don't force it or it'll come unhooked. You'll be sorry. Alright, I got the other end. Ugh. Get rid of this fish tape before it does damage to the car. Alright, here's the other end of my string. Going to make a little loop, feed this through, tie it on there, and then I'll get some tape. And I'll try to smooth out the fact that this thing has a 90-degree turn in it as best as I can. Get rid of that. Let's see if it works. Okay, I had to push a little further back, deeper into the dash, but it worked. Now untape this and plug it into the back of the radio, and we can start reversing the process and putting the car back together. Plug this in where it says mic. There's a spot that says remote. If you have controls on your steering column, that's where that would plug in. SXM, I don't know if that is in case you had satellite radio. Okay, guys, they did not give me adapters, they just gave me harnesses so I can make my own adapter. So I have plugs that plug into the Toyota plugs, that way I don't have to cut into them. But I am going to have to figure out what these are, what they do. But I'm going to have to figure out what goes to what. And me, I don't mess around. I solder and shrink wrap everything so that it can't ever come apart, and you don't have it turning on and off when you go over bumps. It doesn't corrode or break apart like it does with the solderless connectors. There's a reason why professional electronics are soldered together, because solder is forever. So we'll figure these out, and I'll get soldering. Okay, I got my wire harness color code from the kit that goes to the car. I've got my code for the radio. I'm just gonna match up. A lot of them are the same color. The power, the accessory, the hot, and the ground are color coded the same, so it's pretty easy. I'm going to show you how to do this. If anyone does it differently, don't let them work on your car. They're doing it wrong. There are those connectors that you can hit with a heat gun that have the solder inside them. I know some guys swear by those. I haven't tried them yet, but as far as I know, they do a good job. But anybody who's crushing or crimping on a connector with a pair of pliers or whatever, don't let them work on your car. They're not doing it right. This is, in my opinion, the only acceptable way to splice together car wiring. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is get some shrink wraps on here. I'm going to do my power wires first. I'm going to slide these way out of the way so I don't accidentally shrink them while I'm soldering them. Alright. Sorry guys, I'm working outside. It's breezy. So yellow is constant power for the memory on the radio. I'm going to do that one first. Okay. Let that cool off a bit. Give it a tug. It's got no give to it. It's cooled off. Give it a little squish so this will go on better. Alright. Some guys use a lighter or a torch. I prefer the heat gun. I've got more control. You're less likely to burn or singe anything. That's my constant power. Red turns on and off with the key. It's your accessory wire. There's all kinds of different fancy ways you can do this part. Some guys split these up in half. Some guys make like an eyelet in one side and stick the other wire through the eyelet and then twist it. But the solder is going to really link them together, so as long as you can get them to stay put while you solder them. you should be okay. Okay, we have a couple wires here we're not using for our power antenna and to power up amplifier. Just going to put the shrink wrap halfway on them. You could tape them. Electrical tape would work just fine. But then just kind of stick that to itself. There you go. That is, whoops, sorry guys. That's one completed wire harness. Here's some other wires that aren't being used. But they are essentially capped off with rubber already. These super long wires, one goes to the parking brake, so it knows the car is parked when you are messing with certain features. And the other one goes to your backup lights, so it knows to turn on the backup camera. I haven't installed the backup camera yet, so I don't need the backup light to be hooked up yet. We'll ignore those for now. If you want to see those get hooked up, I did those when I put this same radio in my Tundra in one of my other videos. So look that one up. But for now, we're going to go take this over there and hook it up and test out the radio, see if it works. These little clips or tabs in here, there's 4 of them. And if you push on them with a butter knife or a tool, 2 here and there's 2 on the other side, but I think, okay. Now we're in here. There's like a plastic back here, but then there's like a grid here. If you know me and you've seen my channel, I can't ever do anything the easy way. So I'm going to see if I can't unplug that plug. Now I'm going to take my razor knife and I'm going to keep scoring at this knockout until I cut it out. But I'm going to leave this grill. And I'm going to hide my speaker in here. And I'm just going to slip down here, cut there, and I'm going to keep going over it and over it until I can pop that out. I'll see if I can show you guys. Okay, don't do what I did. I wound up making a mess, so I cut out everything out of there, and I've got some of this black foam. I'm going to cut a little square of it and stick it in the back here. I'll cut it nice and thin, and I'll hide my microphone above that. But just use the bracket, guys. What I just did wasn't worth it, and it could have been worse if I had screwed up worse. So that's me. I always got to go above and beyond. Can't just do it the easy way. Okay, I filled the hole in with some black foam. There's this little clip here. I'm going to take the microphone. I'm going to put the bracket over that clip with the microphone facing down through the hole with the black foam. I'm going to reattach the wire harness for the lights, and I'm going to put this together. Now I'm going to tuck this wire up into here, probably using this butter knife thing. And then we're gonna tuck it in along the A-pillar. Get it in there nice and far so that it kind of falls in behind the plastic there. I might jam it with that one so it stops falling out on me, and then work it with a different tool. Now let's see where you guys are looking. Okay. Tuck it in all the way up until it's at the intersection with the dashboard. Oh. Alright, I'm going to pull the slack over here. I'm going to wait to put the dashboard back together until I'm done, just in case. But I'm going to call that part of the job done. Make sure that wire's not poking out anywhere. Alright, microphone's installed. Okay, everything is plugged in. Let's see what we got. Well, we got power. Hey, yes, English please. Really. Well, she works. I'm going to leave it on static so I don't get a copyright. Let's see here. Setup. Sound. Okay, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Now let's see about getting it mounted into the dashboard, huh? So I'm ready to put the radio in the dashboard, and I got this from Crutchfield. Crutchfield also gave me this kit. I think that's the number, 958202. There's also some numbers on the parts, 102019. 102019, right and a left. These are filler strips that are gonna fill in the gap on the radio. They'll make the brackets wind up in the right place, and they'll fill in the space in the trim piece. So I recommend using Crutchfield, just because those guys know, man. They know what you need. You know, I ordered this stuff months ago. I didn't even remember what I had, or I said, I better put this radio in before I figure out it doesn't even work and I can't return it. And now here we are months later. I'm taking this stuff out. I got everything I need thanks to Crutchfield. They were a little more expensive, but they throw in the wire harnesses and stuff like that. It comes out to be comparable. So I do recommend them. They're not a sponsor or anything like that, but they took good care of me, and they'll take good care of you. And maybe they will be a sponsor one day. Let's see if we can put this stuff together. So the bolts go through the plastic filler strips, and then through the factory brackets, and then into the radio. Get all three of them started before you tighten them down. There's one out here you can see isn't going into anything, but if you had the amplifier kit, the amplifier would clip onto the back of the radio, and I think that would go into the amplifier. So that is the right side. If you're facing the radio with it, the way it would be in the dashboard, it's the right-hand side. And now we're going to do the left-hand side. Hopefully you noticed that the plastic goes on outside of the metal bracket. The metal is sandwiched between the black plastic filler strip and the radio. So don't try doing it the other way. I did. It didn't fit. The bolts weren't long enough. It wasn't right. Alright, I got all three in. Let's tighten them down. I don't know if I'm going to go to 60 foot-pounds or whatever it was from the factory, but I'll make it nice and snug because I don't want it coming loose on me. You could also put a little silicone or re-enterable Loctite. I think that's the blue. If you're worried about this coming loose and vibrating on you, or if it does come loose and vibrate on you, and you want to make sure it doesn't do that again. Teflon tape, whatever, but I think we'll be okay. Alright, we'll plug everything in and slip it into the dash. Oh, the USB cord, you're going to have to figure out where you want that to come out. I can drop it down through to the floor, and then there's these little cubbies on either side of the dash. I'll show you them later, where I could coil it up and stash it and hide it. But you can also get a USB, it's both connectors. One end would plug into the end of your cord, and the other end would give you a connection coming out. And it's on like a little plate. You could drill a hole somewhere in your dash, under your dash, where it looks good. Attach this plate, plug this into the back side of the plate, and plug a cord into the front side. It gives it a finished, dressed up look. I may do that down the road, but for right now I just want to get a decent radio in my car and have Bluetooth. So let's get cracking. Okay. Plug in my antenna wire. Plug in the wire harness. I coiled up the slack for the microphone and tied it up. We'll tuck that down into there, but we got to plug the microphone in. And I got to get this cord to drop out the bottom. Okay, I see it. Let me grab it. Pull some slack before it's too late. Alright, all this other stuff can get tucked in. Get my vents out of the way. Make sure none of your wires are going to get pinched between your bracket and the dashboard. That lines up pretty darn good, fellas. I'm referring to the guys at Crutchfield who took care of me. I understand there could be men and women out in my audience. I have a broad fan base. There's only 400 of you, but I love you all and appreciate you. Especially the ladies. Traditionally, ladies don't like to watch unattractive, boring men, but I found some really nice ones who do. Alright, let's try to clip this on here with my finger so we don't lose it. Okay. I know I keep saying this, guys, but just get them started. Do not tighten any of them down until they're all in. Because if something's misaligned, you're going to have to loosen them anyway. My father told me this a million times, and a million times I fought him. And I put things in and tightened them up. And he was right. And I had to loosen it back up. So I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm just trying to help you out, so you don't have to learn the hard way like I did. Fingers crossed. There's a little bit of play in these holes. So fingers crossed it lines up good. Worst comes to worst, I just got to pop the trim off, adjust it, put the trim back on again. But fingers crossed it doesn't come to that. Okay. Now I need to assemble this Bit-O kit. Okay, see, here's those tabs that we couldn't see very well because the radio was blocking them and hiding them when I was taking it apart. Click, 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 click. All right, there's 8 of these. They're all engaged. And you can see there's a gasket here. This just slips into the dash. Make sure it's on there good. Everything works. All right, I'm not sure, but I think I want this up here for this part. Clicked in. And then this came in from the top, it would appear. Yeah, it looks right. Before I go too crazy, I am going to test everything again. Make sure I don't put the whole dashboard together and have a bad connection. All right, I think I'm happy with that for now. This goes under here. That's a pretty good fit. That's a pretty good fit. I think I like it, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody and everybody who's watching and listening. All right, I think I'm mistaken with this. I think that this slides in and pops into everything at once. I should have had it removed to start with, apparently. Let's make sure my 4-ways work. They do. All right. Next piece will be this piece. Okay, that's clicked in. I'm not going to bore you guys, but I'm going to do a thorough test, which would probably give me a copyright strike, and make sure that everything's working the right way. Okay, guys, I managed to find an old song from an old band that I was in on an iPod here. So I'm going to play that because it's not copyright protected. Show you that the radio works. Alright, well that's working. By the way, I'm running this through a FM modulator. So that way I can hook up primitive devices that won't link up to my Bluetooth or go through the USB. Well, it works great. And no copyright. What do you know? All right, well, I feel confident that I can put my dashboard back together. Gotta start up here. Work my way down. These are the wires again for the backup camera and for the parking brake, so that it'll let you do things when it knows the car isn't moving that it won't let you do when the car is moving, like watch videos or whatever. Can you guys see down here? Putting this last piece in. All right. Well, that seemed to fit better before. I'm gonna have to pop this out and shim this. It's a little low here. But all in all, it was a good installation. The spacers on the bracket look pretty good. I don't know if I can shut off the screen. Well, I guess if I turn the key off. But that gap's filled in pretty nice. I guess I can peel this off now. Come in. Come in. Whoop. And voila. New radio. Alrighty, guys. So it's that simple. Nice and easy, piece of cake. Looks good. I like it a lot better than the old one. The sound quality, the modern options. And can't wait to test out the Bluetooth. Unfortunately, I can't talk on the phone and record me talking to somebody at the same time. I'll have to use another phone. But at any rate, there it is, stereo installation. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate you. Love you guys. Have a good one. Take care.